If you're keeping time, then you're just being a metronome. And, for some music, that's cool. But when you're creating time, your whole life force is in every note, is in every space.
Meet Cyndy Blackman Santana. From starting out busking on the streets of New York in the 80s, she's now become the doyenne of the drumming world. When were you first called by the drums?
I think probably before I was born. My mom said as soon as I was born, I was tapping out rhythms. I would find whatever I could that made a sound, whether it was her back or a pot or a pan, and I would tap out something on that. And she thought, well, she's going to grow out of that. And then she said, whoa, but you never did.
Not only did she not grow out of it, but she's collaborated and toured with some of the best in the business. She drummed for Lenny Kravitz during his heyday and is credited as the driving force behind his sound at that time.
Cyndy Blackman Santana, Cyndy Blackman.
It threw Cyndy into the spotlight, and it was on tour with Kravitz that she met Carlos Santana. She became his touring drummer, and the pair married in 2010 after he proposed on stage.
There's a rumor going at it that she's going to be my wife.
The role of the drummer is rhythm, of course. It's energy, it's fire, it's texture, it's tone, it's tempo, it's mood, and it's not a melodic instrument, but it can be played very melodically. Drums in Africa were used as a communication tool first. They were used to speak within the different nations, between the different nations. People would play rhythms and then you'd answer with another rhythm. And that's where jazz comes from. That's where the blues comes from. It's a call and response. So we get a lot from that. Drums are very primordial. There's a heartbeat. Everybody has a heartbeat, which is the pulse. So it's inherent in our physical bodies to have that. But it's also inherent in our spiritual bodies to have that, because there's a pulse to the universe. So when you're in touch with rhythm and you're in touch with drums, then to me, you're really in touch with the pulse of creation.
Cyndy visited Melbourne recently to play at Bird's Basement, the underground jazz club named after legendary saxophonist Charlie Parker. You play so many different styles of music. Do you have a favourite?
My particular favorite is jazz, because it's completely intelligent, it's completely creative, it's completely built on the fabric of life. So it's influenced by people walking on the street. It's influenced by how you wake up in the morning. It's influenced by who you say hello to, who you don't say hello to. It's influenced by everything that we do, that we see, that we are, that we say. It's also got the element of controlled freedom, because there is structure. But you're able to elasticize yourself within and beyond those structures. But as I said first, it's very intellectual. You know exactly what you're doing when you're playing this music at its ultimate peak, at its ultimate level. So we're talking about people like Bird, like Coltrane, like Miles, like Wayne Shorter, Herbie Hancock, Tony Williams. We're talking about the genius innovators. When they're doing it, there's a conversation. It allows the music to go in many different places. To me, there's nothing better than that.
I've heard you described as, Cyndy the lady drummer. How do you feel about that term?
I feel lovely about being called a lady because I love being a lady. So I love my gender. I think that women have a very unique perspective in the universe, and we are inherently, we're creators, we're nurturers, because we're born that way. Our bodies are made that way. So, I feel very blessed to be a woman. So, when people say that, I used to get offended, because it seems as though people are looking at your gender and not your proficiency on the instrument. To me, being a woman actually makes my limitations much less, because I think that women have the ability to be very open-hearted, because we love so strongly. And that's what you put into the music, you put in love.
What does it mean to you to be a virtuoso?
Woo! That's to me the ultimate. There's a language in music that goes beyond technique. You know, you build your vocabulary up to the point that, okay, this is just the way that I'm expressing myself. It goes beyond technique. You're just able to say whatever it is that's on your mind. You know, when I can say anything that I'm thinking about, you know, within a breath, I'm gonna be pretty happy.
Cyndy Black Band. Cyndy Black Band, Santana. It's the Benny Reef Band. Benny Reef Bell. I'm Benny.